Hey everybody, welcome to the Jankyard. I'm your host, The Treatment, and as always, we are bringing you some super hype matchups. Today we've got Brian versus Carl, the classic, two great players playing in the AIL finals here, and we are just getting ready. The game's about to start soon, but yeah, this is the finals. It's been a long road, and we caught the semis the other night. And today, I'm hoping that this is going to be quite the showdown. I don't really know exactly what to expect, but I know that whenever we get Brian and Carl, it is always a good time. And good morning to everyone on the East Coast or Central Time. We thankfully rescheduled from doing this at midnight last night because I don't think many people would be around to watch. So hopefully some of you pop in, and yeah, we just get to have a good time. Good morning, Charlotte. Yeah, AIL's finally happening. I don't even know if this is like 2 or 3 months later, but it's good. It's good. Very excited. Sorry, I'm having some coffee and some breakfast still, but otherwise, looks like we are ready to go. Carl's joined, so he's in the right time zone, or at least knows when we're playing. That's always good. And I'm just going to let them know I am ready. All right. Yes, Tim Hortons, brought to you by Canada. This is an interesting matchup. Okay, cool. We haven't seen Fiona in a very long time, but we've got Carl and Fiona with a 4 charm, 4 divine, 2 nature split, and we've got Brian on the alt art Cole with a 2 ceremonial, 2 charm, 3 divine, 3 time split. I'm wondering if there's, well, probably a shimmy, maybe could be Ruin Dweller, could be Griffin. I think if I had to guess, Carl is probably on Mindfog Owl type of stuff. Could even be a stag. He could be doing like a double, double Mindfog Owl, double bear, double stag type of thing. Oh no, I can't do double bear. But maybe, yeah, something like that. Or just a classic Royal Charm Paladin type of beginning. But this is cool. This is a very different matchup, and so that makes it even more exciting. Good morning. Hey, Fritzy, what's up there? And Alfred, I believe that's your account. How's it going? Good to have you. So they're just picking their first 5s. I'm going to try and be descriptive just in case we have anyone, listening to this primarily, either in the audio format or while they're busy doing something else, or if it's somebody like Shadow. So just let me know, if I'm doing a decent job making this descriptive. We are ready to start, and they are both kicking it off quickly with Royal Charms on each side. Honestly, 2-3 years ago, if you had said Royal Charm would be a mainstay or a staple in Ashes, rather than just a niche card, I wouldn't have believed you, but it is really just in most matches these days, and it's only going to probably get better as it continues. We've got Gilder on Carl's side, his probably one of his favorite cards to play, and a Turtle Guard, which is probably Brian's favorite unit guard unit. He plays that a lot. And then we've got a Glory coming down. We also see Ruby Cobra in the discard pile for Carl, which makes sense. You're playing Ruby Cobra, you're playing Royal Charm, those paired together, which then naturally does mean he's got a Paladin in hand. And we've got 100 blades in the bin, unfortunately. But that's okay. I'm assuming that there's extra draw. Gilder comes down, kills Brian's Glory, and they're at 3 cards apiece and 8 dice apiece. So, Turtle Guard comes down on Brian's side. Easy, no commitment play. That tends to be what makes the difference between the great players and the just good players, is being able to really slow play your dice and wait to react to your opponent, especially in round 1. Brian is the sort of king of dice efficiency. We've got a Shimmer Wing coming down on both sides, and Carl plays his. And we know that he has more mill in his pile with an EV going to the bin. And we've got Fester going in the bin for Brian, but he's putting down Winged Lioness. Okay, I like it. I like the combination of stock and unit guard to really like to be able to buff the Winged Lioness, but then also protect it without having to take any hits. Really nice when you're playing Cole on a low life total. It's funny to see, both, this matchup with both of them on 15 health. That has not been the trend lately. Oh my god, they're both playing Winged Lioness. I'm wondering if there was some inspiration to each of their decks at some point. They play against each other a lot. They talk a lot, so this is pretty interesting to see. We've got 3 out of the same spellboard cards. I'm curious if they're also both playing paladins. That would be very funny. One paladin comes down, kills the Winged Lioness after it gets nerfed by the Royal Charm. Brian has yet to play his Shimmer Wing, but he's got the Cobra for it, which does make me think that it is a nerf and paladin play. Very, very funny. Carl still has his own Linus and whatever he drew, which I'm assuming is just going to refresh the shimmy. Or he takes a Frog Ping, refreshes. Yeah. I don't know. Could go either way. He could play the Linus with the Frog, or he could play the Linus with the Charm. Few options. I'm not guessing that, yeah, you're not going to guard. Oh, he did. Whoa. Interesting. Okay, really wants to keep that turtle guard. So he takes 4 to the face. Interesting. Okay. And I wonder if he passes, because you don't really have anything to do. You could swing the shimmy, I guess. But, okay, he's just going to take probably the Gilder out and, yeah, sit there. Okay, that's fine. Makes it kind of awkward because the Turtle Guard can't stop the Lioness. But there you have it. Buffing the Shimmer. All right. So that I think Carl's pretty happy with that. 4 to the face, loses a Gilder, who cares, and still going to be able to play a second Gilder, okay, and the Lioness. So he's going to clean up the Turtle Guard. Prioritizing that guard because it can really do quite a bit. Silver Paladin swinging at the Shimmer Wing. The Gilder's probably going to guard it. And then we'll see the Lioness come down. It'll get nerfed by the Royal Charm. And, oh, Carl saying, oops, wrong attack. Apparently he didn't mean to do whatever he did. But Brian has Omen Bringers in his deck, which is interesting. I wonder if it's probably a flex. I doubt he has more than that. But this is a very, very interesting deck. He's got Fester. I wonder what else he has the ceremonial for. Very curious. So they're gonna wind back the damage on Fiona. Bring back the Gilder. So they're gonna wind the whole thing back. All right. So the Gilder's back alive. The Silver Paladin's back to unexhausted. The Winged Lioness comes down instead. Okay. and the Royal Charm goes down on the Linus. So now we've got the Paladin swinging back against the Shimmerwing. Gilder guards it again. Token goes down on the Linus. And Carl won't be able to clean anything up this round, but he does have top around. What's up with everyone? You guys got some cool weekend plans? Everyone's very quiet. All right, Brian passes, and we go into next round. So there's 1 damage on the Shimmerwing, ultimately because the Turtle Guard heals or recovers. And that at least gives him the chance to Gilder Ping it away, top of round, which is what I'm assuming is going to happen. Yep, there it goes. Gilder comes down, pings, and we've got an interesting board. Playing some Diablo, Alfred. Oh, I haven't played Diablo 4 since it came out when it was a disaster. All right, Old Salt. That's should have been an obvious guess for what's ceremonial in the deck. That comes down and pings the Shimmy to destroy it. Another Shimmerwing comes down. I didn't think about this, but what I like is that the Silver Paladin, in subsequent rounds, it's always like, well, what are you going to do with the Royal, or the Divine Die that it gives? And especially if you're playing something like Shimmerwing and Gilder, those aren't great targets. Like, you can buff a Gilder if you're against weenies, but being able to buff the Wing Lioness to 3 attack and then stock whatever you want, that's a nice interaction. And if they don't give you the kill, then they're at least taking 3 damage. So that's a nice little interaction there. Nice to see. So Brian attacks the Shimmerwing with the Old Salt, and Carl just lets it die. Not going to use the Gilder on this one. All right. So I'm assuming that with their spreads, they each do have multiple Shimmerwing books, but it's probably not. It's probably just for reach, but it's not the goal to win with Eternal Flame. 3 time dice makes me wonder what else is in the deck that, like, this is an interesting spread. Maybe there's a Crypt Guardian, maybe there's a Sentry in here. Maybe Brian has Adept Duelist. I know that that's a card he likes, especially even just as a one of, to counter, to possibly counter things like Mayoni, which maybe he suspected Carl was on. But Carl is meditating a bunch of dice, so he's gotten rid of 2 Golden Veils, an Amplify, and a Fork Lightning. So those are pretty important losses, or at least, if you're on the coal side, I think you're happy to see Golden Veil disappear, so that you can still get your pings off. And the Fork Lightning is also another nice to see. But there's a lot of buff attacks on this Fiona side. It's a very aggressive Fiona, which is really cool. We see a Shepherd come down on Brian's side, and now he's swinging the Paladin at the Shimmerwing. I doubt you guard this. Probably, again, don't care. The second Shimmerwing book, like, at least this round, is not going to do anything. It's just more draw for Fiona. Still taking a long time to think about it, though. He does guard it. Okay, Carl takes 3. Doesn't want to give, he probably doesn't want to give? He doesn't want to give either the Shepherd or a Turtle Guard 3 damage, because being able, now that you have 2 turtle guards, that does give a chance of destroying the paladin. Ryle the Meek comes down just to deal 2 damage. 1 kills off the shepherd, 1 is on the turtle guard. I guess, 2 dice for 1. It's basically a fork lightning. That's fine. And now Brian plays his own shimmy, gets some cards. Hopefully he drew something good. I wonder if he's got a stuck hand. I mean, he can definitely play the lioness. And he's got 4 cards for slashing, but he doesn't have really any pressure to put down. The guards are very passive. They're not going to do anything against double lioness. Ooh, a 3rd shimmery book comes down. Okay. So what originally was not a chance for getting the Eternal Flame is now fairly trivial to get. That's interesting. Brian meditating 3 dice with Call Upon the Realms. Meditate the Ceremonial Divine and Charm. Okay, interesting. I wonder if he's got a knight in here now. Another Crypt Guardian would be interesting, but it's not really doing all that much. So Carl is going to nuke one of the turtle guards using the Royal Charm debuff. And this is now a rough board. You're basically going to be able to clean up most of Brian's board. Paladin can take out the turtle guard, or the second lioness actually, and then you put pressure on the paladin because he's got 2 of his own, and then he doesn't really need to refresh anything. Oh, but what you could do is you could refresh Royal Charm so that when you play lioness, you actually get the buff out of it. That would be interesting. That would be a funny little play there. Brian's just discarding like Cole does and pinging away Ping Fester on the Paladin. That's a nice play. That's a good one. Nice to get rid of that. The other Paladin is still a bit of an issue. But that was, yeah. Slash Fester. A classic anti-knight strategy. And I wonder if Carl does go for the Winged Lioness now, or if he goes for... Well, he doesn't have the 3rd dice, so he's not going to bother this round. He's going to go with the other Lioness. Because the Eternal Flame was an option before he played the 2nd Paladin, but yeah, now it's not really a concern. The nice thing is that Brian delayed playing his own Lioness, so now he can clean up Carl's, which is good value. So he's played this quite well. I wonder if he slashed. I'm actually surprised that he didn't go for the slash play on the paladin and then buff the lioness and kill it. That I'm a little okay. So Carl's now flipped his plan because he's like, well, I'm not gonna trade lionesses, but I can put down a shimmer wing. And what's he gonna do with 1 die? Maybe he has light swordsman. Not sure there. Not really sure what his plan is. Yeah, okay. Hey, Fred. Oh, yeah, Alfred, I forgot that Diablo's on a season thing. Yeah. I think I'm too old or too busy as a family man now to play games like Diablo. I need short games. Alright. Brian acknowledging that was a good play, killing the light swordsman. Killing the turtle guard with the light swordsman. Because and a duelist. Man, seems like I know these guys a little bit. Duelist comes down, kills the winged lioness. It's too funny. Unfortunately for Brian, he's also going to lose the duelist from the Gilder attack. I wonder if that was worth it. The lioness was exhausted. You have your own lioness. Meh. I guess he's gonna clean up the light swordsman anyway, so and better to take out a lioness than a gilder. Still pretty funny though. Very funny. Oh, oh, okay. Hey, he's just gonna clean up the Shimmerwing this round with the slash. Okay. I thought he would have prioritized the light swordsman, but I guess you can clean that up with your. He does. Okay, he just wanted the one day. Different ordering of things, but it's ultimately going to come out the same in the wash. Slash Shimmerwing, and then maybe swing the Linus. I think you probably want to keep that back and swing the Paladin. Tough to say. All right, Turtle Guard comes down, so you won't slash right away. I mean, with 3 shimmy books, it's kind of like trying to stay on top of it might not be the best idea. But what is interesting is Fiona is down to 7 cards, and Cole has been very reserved with the slashes and still has 10 cards left, and we have not seen a 100 blades. Well, we saw one go in the bin, but yeah. Carl acknowledging that the Turtle Guard play was the smart play, which makes sense because he would just counter pressure right away with the Paladin. Um, so there's a lot of high level thinking here in terms of the sequencing, which is really interesting. I tend to perhaps be a little more fast and loose and aggressive with my plays. But this is, yeah. Paladin now, sorry, there's 2 Paladins, so I got to be a little more clear. Carl is now swinging his Paladin at the Turtle Guard, and this will ultimately leave an opportunity for Royal Charm to, if Brian plays another Wing Linus with one of his divine powers, he'll be able to buff the Linus and kill that Paladin. Now, Carl could have a third, possible. I don't know if he's running 3 Paladins, but he definitely has the dice for it. And we see Brian meditate away a Forked Lightning for a time power. Interesting. Wonder what he's got with the time power. What? I'm trying to think. Sentry, right? That's the only thing that I can think of a time power. Fade away. What am I? Not fade away. 2 shadows. Silly. 2 shadows on the Paladin. That's an even easier approach to removing it. Rose Gardener comes down on Brian's side, and Gilder coming down on Carl's side to kill the Gardener, I'm assuming. Prioritize those free meditations. Yep. Oh, Fate Reflection. Brian always has Fate Reflection. Am I right? Okay. I thought it was a 2 shadows play, but that's funny. Reflects it onto the Paladin, and now he'll be able to get the free kill with the Linus. I love it. You love to see it. That's too funny. The meme lives on. All right. Brian meditates up another die, and here goes the swing. No? Second thought? Is he... He's going to do something else. He's just going to play a Shimmerwing. Okay. I mean, it's unlikely that Carl is running anything like heal or some sort of refresh. But that would be funny if you put all this work into the Paladin and then he runs refresh or heal, and boom, all that undone. Ryle the Meek for 3 damage is going to take out the Rose Gardener and the Lioness. Yeah, takes out the Lioness. Losing that opportunity for a quick, easy kill. But Brian does have 2 shimmies down, and he's got the Royal Charm. So, I mean, he's got tons of ways of killing this Paladin. I guess he just really doesn't care too much right now. He's still got to get past all these unit cards. Like, actually applying pressure, that's the trick right now. But both these players are getting low on cards. I am curious to see if this game goes to fatigue. Sorry, I'll just get this a little better positioned so you guys can see everything. And by the way, if you can hear kids screaming in the background, I do apologize. All right, there it goes. 100 blades. Boom. Is he? He's not going to follow it up with an extra slash. Okay. Does he have a second 100 blades? Is that the play? That would be cool. Although he is behind on dice. Gotta say that this is 4 to 7 dice. It's a little rough. He's got enough for a shimmy, wing lioness. Maybe he has his own light swordsman and a slash. Not really sure what he's going to do here. Okay. He's going to Royal Charm, the Shimmer Wing, and then Eternity Flame. Yep. Now, I mean, Carl still has 2 books, so he could still get his own Eternity Flame, kill the Paladin, and, you know, put 5 damage down easy, because Brian does not have a big field here. Okay, Ruby Cobra. I guess I missed when that book came down. I've not been paying close enough attention. Fork Lightning is meditated away. So I have to assume that he's running either 3 of Ryle or 3 of Fork, maybe, with this many 0 attackers. Which sort of, and he's got tons of books. So it's like, are there that many allies left? He's probably got maybe 1 Paladin left in the deck, maybe 1 Light Swordsman. And then he would just depend on his books. So the rest would still be removals, presumably. But we see Brian use a shimmy to draw a card, and then side action slash the Gilder that's still alive. Or sorry, that's the Gilder, and instead puts the token on the Ruby Cobra. If you can get rid of the guards, then the Paladin and the Eternity Flame are going to do some work. But if he gets rid of all cards, well, he won't get into fatigue yet. He still has 6 in the draw pile, so even if he slashes the rest of his hand away, he's still got lots to do. Fiona refreshing Gilder to play the Gilder and ping the Shimmerwing, which is interesting. I'm curious why he really cared that much about the 1 ping. Well, I guess he cares about the unit card, but if you had played 2 Lionesses this round, would that have been better? I don't know. Brian discards Wing Lioness to kill one of the Gilders, the damaged Gilder. I have to assume that, well, he doesn't have top around, so he's not going to get top around win on the swing. He's going to swing the Paladin at the Gilder, and Carl just takes it to face. Has to keep the unit guard alive. And then he'll swing the Ruby Cobra at the Shimmerwing, and that'll take care of that, and Brian loses a golden veil. Okay. So now Linus has got to come down, but that Royal Charm is going to nerf it. But he's still got cards for Slash. So I think Brian is feeling pretty okay. He's got 2 cards to Slash, one for the Paladin, one for the Linus, and then be able to kill it. Yeah, I think he's feeling pretty good about this. Oh my gosh, a second Ruby Cobra book. Okay. Are we gonna see? Yeah, nerf the Linus, forcing the Slash, because if he wants to kill the Gilder right now, he can, and then he doesn't have any unit guard left. Okay, no, he's just gonna take care of the Paladin. Okay. Shepherd of Lost Souls, bringing the Paladin back. Okay. Well, not anymore, Fritzy. There's no Fork Lightning play. It's just another Paladin coming down, killing the Linus, buffing. What do you buff? Probably buff the Shepherd. Hmm. All right. Brian discards Fate Reflection and uses Cold to kill the Shepherd. See, Brian always has Fate Reflection. It's just a fact. And Carl does play the Paladin to nuke the Linus. I don't know if it's terribly important to see the entire thing, but there we go. All right. So, unfortunately, Brian doesn't have enough Slash to kill off the Paladin. That would have been nice. And he's also facing the Gilder still, but you know, he can still take 4 to the face. He doesn't. Oh, I don't know. This is tricky. The sequencing of it all. All right, Eternity Flame to kill the Gilder. And Carl's guard is down, so that will just die. Token goes on the Paladin, which I'm assuming doesn't really matter in this game. I doubt that there's... Well, Carl doesn't even have time dice, so there's no flash strike or anything. And now the Paladin will attack the Eternity Flame. So this is an interesting question. Do you guard it and keep your Eternity Flame up, or do you take 4 damage going to 4 life? It's a tricky question. Brian is really thinking about this. I don't know the right answer. Brian even says he's thinking. Anybody have a feeling on this? Is the life more important than going down to Silver Paladin? I think if Fiona had a Lightbringer, that would be much more scary because you don't want to... You can't guard it and then lose top of round, right? They just Lightbringer you out of position and swing for the win. But in this case, he decides he's going to take it, keep his 2 units on board, and now each player has only 1 card in the draw pile. And I'm assuming Carl just swings the Ruby Cobra as... Well, maybe not. Maybe you want to wait, but you're going to give Brian the last opportunity to actually meditate. Because that would be one option, is you just take away the option to meditate, but then you're facing badness. Sympathy Pain is possible. Molten Gold is... I guess it's a potential play. I doubt it, but I think if you had that, he would just right now be meditating up all those dice and then just saying, I basically have game. Like, if you swing at me, you lose. The ban does not exist right now because AIL started beforehand, and that was even a question for the semis last game. So, because that's how it came down. It actually came down to Molten Gold win. But yeah, he's just going to take the safe, slow approach and Gilder ping on the Eternity Flame, and now he's got a guard. So he's got some bodies in play. So the question is, how does Brian win this? How does he get damage through? Because Carl still has the threat of his own Shimmer Wing for 2 damage, and then just, getting anything across the board ends it. Even like a divine buffed Ruby Cobra. So Brian has Channel Magic, and he'll draw his last card, remove a wound, which is really good here. Puts him sort of out of range of the easy final threat. And he obviously knew what his last card was, so hopefully it was something that can help him here. And he's going to raise the 2-time dice and charm. So he's going to play his Turtle Guard one last time, and then I guess use that to meditate. Yeah, this is interesting. The 5 life each. Carl has a ton of books. Like in theory, he could just sort of just build his board and then sit there. Right? You don't need to do anything and don't need to play any cards from hand. But the Cole player does. Ooh, another Light Swordsman. This is going to kill off the Eternity Flame unless Cole takes 2 to the face. He does. He takes 2 to the face. I mean, Carl has all those books, but if he can't clear his own board, then he's in trouble. Here's hoping you have not figured out how to play Molten Gold with 1 nature die. Ever the comedian. Nice guy, Bry. Yeah, Fiona only has 6 battlefields, so a Gilder's not getting you anywhere offensively. The Ruby Cobra now technically, does 1 damage, but it's you're not worried about the mill. And Brian can still get a second Eternity Flame. So there are options to get that, extra 2 damage. I just don't know how you're going to keep on top of the Shimmer Wings on Carl's side. Because that's just going to blow up your Paladin. I think Brian's in trouble here, if I'm being honest. I'm not really seeing a way out. Paladin swings at Turtle Guard. You have to let it die. You have to let it go. Can't guard it, you lose. Which means now he divine buffs the Ruby Cobra. And it's like, okay, here's the pickle. You're out of guards. This Eternity Flame can now die relatively easy. Yeah. I don't know. You're gonna let the Eternity Flame die. It's too bad Brian doesn't have Final Cry or something like that. We haven't seen all the 100 blades. Okay, so we know that. Ooh, wouldn't it be crazy if he had Final Stand? I forget what that card does. Doesn't that do 4 damage? Should I bring it up on a different screen so I actually know what the heck I'm talking about? But that would be interesting. I don't want to switch my browser tab. Look at my phone. I forget what Final Stand does because I don't think I've ever used it. 4 and 2. That would be spicy. I mean, 100 blades does 1 damage, right? So still, in theory, Carl's at 4. If you can get another Eternity Flame, that puts him at 2. Yeah, I mean, this Ruby Cobra just eats up this Linus like no problem. But Then he's got 2 3 attacks. So he can't swing out yet. He's got to put down another unit. And if you're Brian, you don't want to clear the Cobra. You want to let it clog up Carl's field and swing wide. So it really depends. Like, does he have an old salt or another ally? He hasn't meditated a ceremonial to like recur something. I take it back. Brian has some outs, but it's really hard commentating when you don't know what's in either player's hands. It's even hard to take a guess because they're playing such sort of spread out quantities of everything on such different dice spreads. There could be another Fork. There could be another Ryle the Meek. There could be, I don't know, another Enchanted Violinist. Carl probably has 2 of those. He could have, yeah, more removal. Unlikely Brian has 3 Festers. Very possible, though, that he does have 3 Old Salts. Channel Magic, would he have a second one? Maybe, unlikely. He had 2 Wing Linus books, but I don't think he had would have had a third. I think that was more like he could start Omenbringer and then draw into the Wing Linus type of play. He could have a second Fork Lightning, though. That would make sense. A second Fork Lightning seems reasonable for Brian. Old Salt Fork Lightning? What does he do? Alright. Old Salt pings the Gilder and discards Reclaim Soul. Okay. Reclaim Soul. That also, could have been something. Alright, so he's definitely just, he's like, I gotta win this round by going wide. I'm gonna lose to fatigue anyway. So he's got 2 dice, 3 dice reserved maybe for one last Eternity Flame. That's what I would assume. And then, or he's got 2 dice for 100 blades and maybe another unit. Still very tough. All right. Another shimmy comes down on Carl's side. He is now threatening Eternity Flame, which would put Brian at 1. And there's 3 unexhausted units. Brian can only get 2 damage past. So that's not enough yet. And if he doesn't act now, he's in trouble. So the Linus is going to kill the Shimmerwing. Makes sense. Because you really cannot afford Eternity Flame to calm down. That puts you in a really bad position. Ooh, stand still. Yes, Fritz. Yes. Well, yeah, no. He could have won there, but if he didn't swing, I'm assuming that it's because he doesn't have it. But that would have been a great card to have. Nice thought. Yeah. That would have been good. Carl just playing another Cobra, gets the Royal Charm there. Still facing 3 and 3, so now you can't get any damage past. And he meditates up another. You know what? I think Carl probably does have a 3rd Golden Veil. Because why would you meditate Charm Class to Charm Power for, well, I guess Ruby for another Ruby Cobra, but you're just going wide? Possible. All right, Brian is swinging the Paladin at the Ruby Cobra. And Carl's thinking. All right. Cobra's dead. Paladin stays alive. And Old Salt gets buffed to 3. Carl still has enough dice for Lioness, Shimmy, Eternity Flame, or Cobra. He's still got lots of options, basically. All right, Royal Charm coming down on the Old Salt brings it back to 2 attack, and Brian doesn't really want to swing right now. What's he got? He has no self clear. He didn't use the Reclaim Soul. See, I wonder why he didn't swing the Eternity Flame and then Reclaim Soul, get 2 life back, clear the Eternity Flame, and then be able to actually get, the other one out there. Right now, if he plays any card from hand, he has to win this round or he loses to Fatigue. Carl passes. If you just slash... No, you can't. Ah, that's so annoying. He can't just like slash and pass because then he would still lose to Fatigue. That's rough. All right, Eternity Flame clears the Cobra. Now Carl can't pass because if he passes, he loses. Top Brian gets top around. He would just slash the Light Swordsman and swing. Oh, but that's still not enough. That would be block. That'd be 4 damage, and Carl doesn't take 1 fatigue yet. I wonder if Carl has 3 Shepherds of Lost Soul. No, he does. Sorry, in the discard pile. So he can't. I'm just thinking if he was going to bring back another Light Swordsman, but Brian is just not letting him have it, and he doesn't have it anyway. All right, discards Fate Reflection, deals 1 damage to Shimmerwang. This is as a side action, so I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I wonder if he slashed his own Eternity Flame trying to clear it and get, the damage that way. We know he has 100 blades, right? So he can clear both shimmies right now. But that doesn't let him win. Clashing Tempers. Oh. Final Stand. Yeah, Final Stand would be what I would think he possibly has, which would be really interesting. Yeah. Boy, what a final round. I didn't see Clashing Tempers come. A one of Clashing Tempers. I did not see that coming. It's been a really good long end of the game. I think ooh, okay. This actually gives Brian he pinged the Eternity Flame. This gives Brian a chance to re-summon Eternity Flame, but Carl is also possibly summoning an Eternity Flame. Oh boy. So close. Yeah, I think he just doesn't have it. Again, I tend to play as if I'm the player on the bottom, so it might seem that I'm playing favorites to Brian, but it's just the natural instinct when you've played on Ashteki so long to be looking at the top side as the opponent. This is a very, very close game, though. Really interesting. Carl can swing for 1 damage. And then he can just blow up. That Clashing Tempers play was so nice. Put everything out of reach. Like, what a great play. Okay, Carl takes the 2 to the face because now he can just swing for 1, and then, well, don't think Brian can do anything to stop the Eternity Flame because he's only got 2 cards left. And then he would just lose to exhaustion, right? Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he's toast. I mean, he doesn't. Carl doesn't have to pass yet. I mean, he could, but he doesn't. He doesn't need to. Um, Swing for the 1 damage first to ensure it. Yeah, fatigue is going to happen, um, but he swings for the 1 damage first just to really guarantee it. Because if it is generosity in hand, uh, he would still go up. Discarding Glory Aspirant to kill his own Eternity Flame, I'm assuming. To kill Light Swordsman, and then final stand. So we got there. We did call that it was final stand. 4 damage. There it is. Deal 2 damage to a target and deal that. You never see it. 1 damage off. Oh, and because of the flip, I think he has it, doesn't he? No, Linus. Linus, yeah. He wins. No, because he's got a guard. He's still got shimmy wings for guard. Yeah. He still has dice to play. That is amazing. Wow, because top of round goes to Brian, but Brian has 1 more life. Otherwise, he would have lost, right? Because first player token goes first. Start of the new round, Brian takes the first damage, then Carl takes damage. If they were both at 1, then Brian would take the first damage and lose if he was down 1. Oh my god. Wow. That was sick. Having to know the rules in this case, or like the exact order of the round and top of round, what a sick play. And he plays Linus for 1 just to add it. Holy Jesus. That was amazing. Wow. Yes, Brian, you automatically. Okay, I'm saying that they know the rules. Brian doesn't even know. He's just playing. He's just playing what he thinks is the best line of play. Amazing. Whoa. That was sick. Yeah, first time I've ever seen Final Stand play, and it was exactly what he needs. Oh my god, that was great. What a finals. That last round, I that was one of the best last rounds of Ashes with the number of choices and decisions there that are so complex. Like anticipating either side was hugely difficult there. The Clashing Tempers play was like genius, especially if you're expecting the third card to be the last 100 blades. Like Carl played that perfectly. I did not even see that coming or that play coming. Um, yeah, the fact that he had the exact right top around, the guarding there, when to guard, when to play, what to attack, that was so good. Man, it is not often you see a game come down to like, oh, this is going to be fatigue and there's only one card left in the cool player's hands, and then he plays a final stand and is able to just hold off. And Carl had 3 shimmy books and couldn't get the Eternity Flame. That would have, man, this was well played. Wow, that was great. That was super super fun to watch. I I really hope they saved the replay so that other, well, whatever, it's streamed. You guys can watch the video on demand. But this is like the type of match. These matches, the finals and the semis. If you're watching, please, everyone, save your replays. Let's start sharing them. I would love to be able to like walk back through that match and think at each stage like, here's a problem, like what do you do, like let's poll the community on what you think the best play is at each of those stages. Like these are the types of fun things that I think could help everyone really learn, and then also ask the players like, why did you do this, and have the replay in hand, because it's just so cool. That was a great match, really cool, really intense. I think I stopped talking at one point because I was really trying to think through the options. So thank you everyone for joining. Bill, it was great to have you pop in. Timothy Cathcart Ninja, you guys all flip your names. It's hard to keep track of, but yeah, thanks for joining. And that was totally worth the wait for AIL 2024 finals. And the next tournament, One and Done, is coming up, and we still have Phoenix League and First Five League and Legendary Knockout match signups for September will be starting up soon. So there's lots to enjoy. Hop on the Discord, be part of the community. And if you're not janky, you are stanky. Thanks everyone for watching. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll catch you hopefully this week with another podcast episode, this time with Shmeny. So, ciao.